You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that. Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckeister with the Man Hour. Head over to manhour.com. Pick yourself up some merchandise and drop a donation tip if you would like to most as well. But before we get too carried away, we have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Brandon Combs. What's going on, BC?
What is going on? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? It is Trivia Tuesday, baby.
It's Trivia
Tuesday. Look, man, I am pumped. We're also going to be talking baseball. Can't get any better than that. I get to whoop some butt in trivia, and I get to talk baseball on the same day. You're spoiling me, Buck.
Speaking of trivia, guys, we're doing trivia here in about 10 minutes, so you can feel free to call into the show. 502-208-9266 is the line to call. Phone lines will be open throughout the show. If you want to call in and be like, hey, what's up? If you want to talk some smack, if you can talk whatever you want, but it is Trivia Tuesday, so we will be doing... What?
Oh, my God. We're going to have, we're going to have some callers tonight, I can guarantee you.
Well, phone lines are open. 502-208-9266 is the Man Hour hotline right now. But let's go ahead and get into the show right off the bat here. If you're watching us over here on YouTube, drop that like and hit the subscribe button as well. And share this with a couple friends. That would be most awesome. But... hashtag Man Hour Nation. Before we get too carried away, I want to talk some Ohio State-Michigan game. Obviously, that game has been canceled. But let's talk the news that just broke within the last hour or so. Des Bryant says he quits NFL football after testing positive. Literally 30 minutes before game time. Do you think Des Bryant's really done?
You never know with guys like that. He's been out of the league for so long. Wasn't getting very many, looks his way anyway, so maybe this is just kind of his way of saying, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. But no, look, the fact that they let him go up and warm up with the team and running routes and everything, he's out there high-fiving everybody, shaking hands, doing what he's got to do, and, oh, by the way, you're positive for COVID, get off the field. Well, yeah, too late.
It doesn't make any freaking sense. I mean, let's be honest. This whole COVID thing situation hasn't really made sense to, in my head, anyways, because our school bus driver tested positive for a away game. Literally, everybody passes the school bus driver to go to their seats, right? But the persons in the first 2 seats behind them had to isolate for 14 days, but the rest of the team didn't. It didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
And if you're anything like when I remember when I was in high school, man, our school bus driver was the same driver every time. Yep. And when we're coming off the field, man, he's just as excited as we are for a win,
exactly.
And he's giving us high fives and pumping us up. And yeah, I don't get the whole COVID thing either, but is what it is. I don't want to get booted off YouTube for political nonsense. So,
well, it is non-political nonsense because Des Bryant goes to the State Stadium, says hello to the security guards and the people, whoever he's changing with everybody in the locker room. You can be social distance all you want, but let's be honest, your elbows and assholes in the locker room anyways. Out pregame warm up, and then all of a sudden he gets a positive COVID test, and they say he cannot play. Speaking of not playing, what's up, Brandon Combs Jr.? Let's go chat over there on the old YouTube page, man. We're excited for some trivia, so be sure to call into the phone line here at 502-208-9266 here in about 10 minutes. But the Ohio State-Michigan game has officially been canceled. If you listen to us on the Big X Sports Radio, I kind of said this was going to happen anyways, not because of Michigan has COVID just because they're straight scared of Ohio State. Let's be flat out honest. They're flat scared of getting that butt whooped.
I don't know that they're scared of Ohio State, or do they hate Ohio State so much that they're just like, you know what, we're going to make it so you can't play 6 games, and that makes you ineligible. So let's do that. But they're going to find a way, aren't they? They're going to find a way to get Ohio State a game this weekend.
So if you guys are confused of what we're talking about, the Big Ten Football Conference says that you have to have 6 games to be able to play in their conference championship, and the college football says you have to have 6 games to compete in their playoff bracket as well. Right now, Ohio State is sitting at 5-0. Michigan is their last game of the season. Therefore, they won't have the 6 games. And the Big Ten says, you know what? If you can't play, you can't play. You have to have 6 games to get in there. And looking at the conference right now, we have Indiana, our Hoosiers, taking on Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. However, do you think the Big Ten is going to bend their own rules, switch up the schedule so Ohio State can get that six game in and make it to the Big Ten?
Indiana. I mean, that's the talk, is that if Indiana's game is canceled with, I believe they play Purdue, maybe Penn State or something like that. But if their game gets canceled, they're talking about them playing Ohio State for the 6th game. Look,
really?
If they give Ohio State a 6th game, if the Big Ten does this, I hope whoever they play whoops that ass. Just because it would just create so much chaos for the Big Ten. You did this just to get Ohio State so that they could get qualified, and then they lost anyway.
Right.
And now your Big Ten title game is going to be Indiana and Northwestern, and the winner of that is still not going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I would love it.
And if they were to play Indiana only lost in, was it 12 points or 10 points like the last time they played? It was a very competitive game till the very end, and it was at the Big House. So I wonder if Ohio State would have to travel to Indiana at that point. And Indiana is allowing fans. They are riding high off their season. Yes, their quarterback's hurt, but man, how hype would Indiana fans be if they got a second chance at Ohio State at home in Bloomington, Indiana, and they knocked off the number 4 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes?
Dude, man.
Zen might have to decommit and go to Indiana.
Dude,
I'm kidding.
I don't know what would happen there, but man, that would be the best. I would watch that game. I'm gonna watch that game this weekend. If Ohio State gets a game, I'm gonna watch that game.
Yeah.
And I will be the biggest fan of whatever team they are playing. I will probably go out and get a jersey of whatever team they are playing against, and I will be rooting against Ohio State because it is just, I mean, it's bad. Not only that, but everybody knows why you're doing it. So now you're going against your own rules for money.
Exactly.
Let's face it, Buck. It's all for the money.
Yeah.
They want to get their team into the playoffs because they get that extra dollar. You know, that's look. I don't like it. I don't like Ohio State anyway. But to do this, I think would totally ruin everything that the Big Ten has really said this far, and not letting teams play when they've had positive COVID tests, or when their opponent has had positive COVID tests. So you're gonna make all these other kids in all these other schools not be able to play, not give them a chance to play. Some of them are seniors playing their senior year, missing their senior year, and Ohio State has a chance, and now they're going to get hurt by this, so now you're going to bend the rules. I'm telling you right now, man, they're opening themselves up for lawsuit after lawsuit.
Yeah, so like me living in the college area that I live in, because like we have the Louisville Cardinals, like we have Indiana, Purdue, a bunch of Indiana schools, and like in the Kentucky schools, the people were throwing out, why don't we just start the playoff early? Texas A&M doesn't have a game this week.
Right.
Let them play Ohio State, number 4 versus 5, and just settle it right there on the field. But obviously that will not happen.
Man, if you go out of conference and do that, oh my God.
Right.
Oh my. Yeah. Look, bring in Coastal Carolina. Let Coastal Carolina play them. Let's see. Give Coastal Carolina their bowl game early, and hey, say, look, here's your bowl game. If you beat Ohio State, you're in the playoff. If you don't beat Ohio State, they're in the playoff.
If Ohio State played Coastal Carolina, I will be buying a teal jersey right now, wearing it, and be like, you know what, whoop that Buckeye ass. But speaking of whooping ass, football team beat the unbeaten Pittsburgh Steelers last night, 23-17, causing some controversy.
Look,
is the football team for real, Brandon?
My boy Hoffy, and I got to give it to him, man, since the beginning of the season, has said the Washington, not Redskins anymore, are going to win the NFC East. And he's been on them all season long. And, But see, here's the thing, and a lot of people are all over the Steelers. Oh, the Steelers lost to a 5-7, now 5-7 team. They lost to one of the worst divisions in the league. Well, they also had to play on Wednesday and then play again on Monday. So you've got to give the Steelers. They played 3
games in 12 days.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. The Steelers kind of got hosed in their schedule, but they didn't make any excuses. They still went out there and played the game. And they got beat. Well, Washington's defense is for real, man. And I've said that. Hoffy's a bit... Oh, Hoffy, if you're watching, buddy, you better get on here and defend yourself. You got your boy's son over here messing with you.
but like going back to the football team here, I've been saying this for what, Brandon, 2 months now since like we started doing the man hour. I said the winner of the NFC East is going to make some noise in the playoffs. And right now, Washington football team is a front runner. And I said it before, Alex Smith is the quarterback. If he's the quarterback for the Washington, they are a playoff-bound team. And they're looking better and better and better every game that Alex Smith plays.
I hate you so much right now because you did say, I'll give you that. You said the winner of the NFC East was going to the championship game. But at first, you said it was the Cowboys, and then you said it was the Eagles. And
I never said the Eagles.
I think at one point you said it was the Giants, and now you're on the Redskins. So, look, I got to give it to you.
NFC East.
I mean, you're sitting there, and you're hedging your bets a little bit. But, look, I would not be – I don't think NFC title game, but I definitely think they can win their home game. I definitely think they can pull off an upset, and I mean, I guess technically it's not an upset because they're the higher seed, but let's face it, if they win their first playoff game, it's an upset.
I mean, like right now you're looking at the Washington versus Tampa Bay, 4 versus 5 seed there.
Oh, my God, that is a horrible matchup for Tampa Bay, too.
Yeah.
So, I I just saw Hoffy's comment. But no, I think that the not Redskins anymore are really good. I said this before the season, the not Redskins anymore were good. I said they were going to surprise people. Yeah. I had picked them at 9-7. I picked them second in the division. I actually had the Cowboys finishing last in the division. So it looks like I'm going to be right in one aspect and wrong in the other because I think that the Redskins or the not Redskins anymore are going to win that division. Even I had the Eagles preseason, but I didn't realize Carson Wentz was going to fall off that cliff that
get benched.
Everybody thought that Tom Brady was falling off of. Looks like Carson Wentz got booted off that. That guy, his downfall came out of nowhere, though.
Yeah,
nobody saw Carson Wentz being what he is now.
Well, I mean, ever since he tore that ACL, like he just people don't understand like how big of an ACL injury actually is. Yes, we live in a day and age where you come back from ACL surgery in like 9 months, but that's a very rare breed. I mean, like, yes, Adrian Peterson destroyed it, but we see players tear ACLs and you never hear from them ever again. So I'm not trying to defend Wentz whatsoever here, so don't get the words twisted, but he just, I almost want to say, he is not stable on that leg yet. Like, maybe he came back too soon. Maybe he should have set out for another month or two, and maybe he would have been the player he once was.
Yeah, so, look, I think that the problem that I've seen from Wentz, man, is just the regression. He was never a guy that would throw interceptions the way that he's thrown interceptions. He would fumble the ball a lot because he would take off and he really couldn't protect the ball too well. But he was never the guy that would throw a ton of interceptions, and that's what he's turned into. And what's going on, LeBlanc? And that's just not who he is. So his checkdowns have been horrible. His ability to read progressions has completely declined. I don't know what's going on with Carson Wentz, and I don't know if it's going to get better anytime soon. If it does, it's not going to be with the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Jalen Hurts definitely is the future there in New England as he does get to start this week. But, Brandon, let's go ahead and take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got Trivia Tuesday, baby. So if you guys are interested in going head-to-head on trivia with Brandon Combs, call in 502-208-9266, and we will get you on. We'll be right back after this on the Man Hour. You got a caller. We'll be right back with you, man. One second. And welcome back to Trivia Tuesday, guys. Trivia Tuesday is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR, and they will match up to $50 on your first deposit. You can also download on iOS and Android devices as well. But it is that time. Are you ready for that time? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
It's Man Hour Trivia Tuesday, baby.
It is Man Hour Trivia Tuesday, and we do have a caller on the line. Caller, what is your name?
It's me, Brandon Combs Jr.
Brandon Combs Jr. versus Brandon Combs. All righty. It is it's a little father-son rivalry going on here. So Combs Jr.
Who's man in the YouTube chat?
So Combs Jr., we have 4 NFL team trivias to pick from. Okay, so you have the New England Patriots trivia, Dallas Cowboys trivia, Chicago Bears trivia, or the Kansas City Chiefs trivia.
This isn't even a question.
What team would you like to guess trivia on?
I'm going to have to go with my team, the Patriots.
The New England Patriots. Okay, what's
Adam
up,
Barber.
Adam Barber?
Hey, call in, buddy. You can go next on the trivia, man. Win yourself some swag.
Okay, so how this is going to work, each person is going to answer 5 questions, and whoever has the most questions right at the end of the 10 questions will obviously win. If there is a tie, we'll go into a sudden tiebreaker. Combs Jr., you got any questions?
How bad is my dad going to cry when I win?
Do you want to go first or second?
Right.
You are the guest on the show. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
All righty. So question number 1 to Brandon Combs, BC. What year were the New England Patriots founded? 1940, 1950, 1960, or 1970?
1960.
That is correct. They did merge with the NFL in 1970, so they were founded in 1960. Correct. There we go.
Oh, now you go.
Combs Jr., next question to you. Who was the first player signed a New England Patriots, Boston Patriots contract back in the day? Was it Jim Hunt, Harvey White, or Randall White?
Sorry, can you say those answers one more time?
Yep, it is. We got Jim Hunt, Harvey White, or Randy White.
Stop using Google, Junior.
I don't know. Randy White?
It is White, but it is Harvey White. In December 20th, 1959, Clemson quarterback Harvey White became the first player to sign with New England Patriots. Definitely wrong on that one. Sorry. Question number 3 to BC himself. Who was the first head coach of the Boston Patriots? Chuck Fairbanks, Nick Smart, Lou Saban.
Mike Holovic.
Mike Holovic is incorrect. The correct answer is Lou Saban. On February 8th, 1960, Lou Saban became the first head coach of the New England Patriots, then were called the Boston Patriots.
Is that
Combs
Nick Saban's
Jr.
dad?
I don't know. That's a good question. Combs Jr., question number 4 to you. What rookie helped revitalize the New England Patriots defensive line in 2001? Vince Wilfork, Richard Seymour, Marcus Spears, or Ty Warren?
Ooh, I know this one.
Ooh. Seymour.
That is correct. Richard Seymour did help revitalize the New England Patriots defense in 2001, quickly earning a starting spot on the defensive line. He finished the season with 44 tackles, 25 solos, and 3 sacks. In 2002, Seymour earned his first Pro Bowl selection. Question number 5 to BC. What New England Patriot earned the Offensive Rookie of the Year honors in 1995? Terry Glenn, Drew Bledsoe, Leonard Russell, Curtis Martin.
That's between Glenn and Martin. Curtis Martin.
That is correct. I mean, if you guys do not remember Curtis Martin, he was a staple of a workhorse. They would give him the ball and just run and run and run.
Yeah, but Terry Glenn was their best wide receiver in that Super Bowl, too, when they went up against the Packers. So.
True. But Curtis Martin was drafted in the 3rd round, rushing for 1,487 yards and scored 14 touchdowns. Martin would go on to become one of the most prolific running backs in NFL history. Combs Jr., question to you, number 6. What quarterback did Tom Brady replace in 2001, eventually leading the Patriots to a Super Bowl championship? Drew Bledsoe, Vinny Testaverde, or Doug Flutie?
Bledsoe.
There you go. That is, everybody should know that one. If you do not know that
softball.
one, come on, get out of here. Number 7. Which of the following Super Bowls did the New England Patriots not win? Super Bowl 36, Super Bowl 37, 38, or 39? BC.
38.
That is correct. They did win 3 out of the 4, but they lost 38. Combs, I forget to keep hitting the bell. Hitting the bell. Junior, are you ready for question number 8?
I am.
What running back did the New England Patriots acquire from the Cincinnati Bengals in 2004? Rudy Johnson, Corey Dillon, Keyshawn Carter, or Antoine Smith?
Ooh.
This was about the time you started watching the Patriots, right?
He was born that year.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
born that year. Okay.
I'm sorry, what are the answers again?
Rudy Johnson, Corey Dillon, Antoine Smith. We'll narrow it down to 3 for you.
Rudy Johnson.
That is incorrect, man. Come on. It is Corey Dillon. Corey
So
Dillon.
is it 3-2 right now?
Yeah, sounds right.
All right.
Question number 9. This could seal the game for Dad. What New England Patriots shared the Pro Bowl MVP honors with Keyshawn Johnson in 1999? Was it Bruce Armstrong, Drew Bledsoe, Ty Law, or Willie McGinnis?
Willie.
Willie McGinnis is incorrect. The correct answer is Ty Law. Ty Law did share MVP Pro Bowl honors in 1999 with Keyshawn Johnson. Final question to Combs Jr. Are you ready?
I am.
How many years did it take Bill Belichick to win his first Super Bowl with the New England Patriots? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
2.
That is correct. After a 5-11 season, his first year, he did lead. He engineered a masterful second season, handing QB duties over to Tom Brady, leading the Patriots
What
to
did he
victory
do for a tie?
over the St. Louis Rams in Super Bowl 36. Ty, you each get one question. Are you ready?
Oh, boy.
Let's go ahead and go over to page 2, if I could. I guess there's...
Do they not have that many Patriots questions?
No. No. Okay, so actually, we're just going to ahead and get this question to Combs Jr. because this is a older question, Brandon, BC. You should get this. So, in 1990s, what team won 3 Super Bowls? In 1990, what team won 3 Super Bowls? San Francisco 49ers, Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, or the Dallas Cowboys? Combs Jr., what's your answer?
Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys is correct. The Cowboys won in 93, 94, and 96. The Denver Broncos and San Francisco 49ers each won 2 Super Bowls during the 1990 seasons. Combs Jr., hit us on the inbox on the Facebook page, and we'll get a T-shirt sent over your way. Thanks for playing, bud.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime.
I'm not coming to visit.
It's Man Trivia Tuesday, baby.
Have a good day, fellas.
All right, thank you for joining us, guys. If you are curious of joining in, we do have a couple left minutes of the Trivia Tuesday. So, Brandon, some of those questions were pretty tough. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. The one with Ty Law and Willie McGinnis, man, that one got me because I thought McGinnis was good that year too. He had a really good year. So I thought I forget.
Yeah,
they would never give MVP to a lineman.
True, that is very, very true. And do you really earn an MVP Pro Bowl, or you're just kind of like, oh, you played the most minutes, like here, here's your MVP award,
Kyle
right?
Kelly, buddy, call in, man. Get up on some trivia. See if you can take me down.
You want some Packers questions? We got some Packers practice.
Tebow's incestuous son, get on here, buddy.
Yeah, I don't. Is that really how you spell Tebow?
I have no clue. Tebow's incestuous son, Joe.
Get that off the there. So stupid. So,
That's
Adam,
what do you want me to do? That's his
there
name.
There you go.
I
Kyle
can't
Kelly,
his name.
call on in, man. 502-208-9266.
Oh, boy. Come get some, Kelly.
Did he just call you daddy? That's kind of weird.
Hey, look, that's my cousin, man. You don't want me to wax your ass.
All right, guys. I mean, we do have a couple more minutes before we do head to break and talk some baseball. What do you want me to do? Oh, yeah, just message us all over on the Facebook page and give me your size of T-shirt, and we'll get you a T-shirt sent over there at Combs Jr. You did wear the win the trivia fair and square, so it's literally on the bottom of the page, Kyle Kelly. It says, call us at 502-208-9266.
I'm a little drunk.
Come on, man. Yeah. Maybe we don't want you.
He's already coming with the excuses. He hasn't even lost yet.
I will even read you the first question. What were the Green Bay Packers originally called?
Oh, God. We're going with Packers trivia? That's insulting to me right now. Like, I can't. I thought I would get to pick it. Oh.
And there we go. We do have a next caller in. Welcome to Man Hour Trivia Tuesday, baby. Who do we got on the line?
Kyle Kelly.
Kyle Kelly, what's going on, man? We saw you talking some smack over there in the chat. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So we, since we're a little short on time, the first person to get 3 correct answers will win this round. So, first question is to you: what were the Green Bay Packers originally called? The Indian Packers or the Acme Packers?
I'm gonna go Acme.
And you said you were a Green Bay Packer fan.
That was 5 generations still dead.
The correct answer is the Indian Packers. They were the original sponsor. Lambeau's employee, the Indian Packing Company, in 1921. They were the first Packers team to join the NFL. Next question to Brandon Combs. What Green Bay Packer quarterback holds the team record for most passing yards in a season? Aaron Rodgers, Lynn Dickey, Bart Starr, Brett Favre.
That's Aaron Rodgers.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Yeah, he threw for 4,643 yards and surpassing Lynn Dickey's 4,450-yard mark in the 2011 season.
You better not give him any softballs like that.
Kyle Kelly.
You can't lose twice.
Who was on the receiving end of Brett Favre's first NFL completion? James Lofton, Sterling Sharp, Edgar Bennett, or Brett Favre himself?
Brett Favre himself.
That is correct.
Oh.
September 13th, 1992, Brett Favre completed his first pass to himself. We're 1-1 right now. Let me mark it down. Brandon Combs.
Yep.
What are the Green Bay Packers fans commonly called? Coneheads, she-heads, boneheads, hotheads.
Clown pieces isn't an option?
No, it sure is not.
I'll go with cheeseheads then.
Yeah, that one was a kind of soft. It's honestly, guys, I'm just reading down the order. So sorry, that may have been a little easy question. Okay, question number 5 to Kyle Kelly here. What was Vince Lombardi's career record as a Green Bay Packers head coach? 84-42, 77-53-3, 98-30-4, 212, 106, and 21.
The 98 one.
Yeah, that is correct. He finished a career record of 98-30-4.
Oh, it's 2-2.
He does have 5 NFL titles.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, next question here. Who was the first Green Bay Packer to snag more than 50 career interceptions? Willie Wood, Leroy Butler, Darren Sharper, Bobby Dillon.
This is a complete guess because I don't know nothing about the Green Bay Packers. Let's go with Dillon.
That is correct. And only in 8 seasons, 1952 to 59, Bobby Dillon became the first Green Bay Packer to snag more than 50 interceptions. Funny story, he only finished his career with 52. So, Kyle Kelly, do you want a chance to redeem yourself on this final question?
Yeah, a little bit.
What team originally drafted Brett Favre? Denver Broncos, Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys. There you go. There you go. Thank you for tuning in to Man Hour Trivia Tuesday, man. Sorry you didn't know your Packers as well as Combs.
Thanks, man. You guys have a good one. I enjoy your podcast.
It's Man Hour Trivia Tuesday, baby.
All right, Brandon. That was Man Hour Trivia Tuesday. It is time to take a quick little break, man. On the other side of the break, are you ready for some baseball talk?
I've been whooping that kid's ass since he was about yay big, so it's nothing new. I've always whooped his ass. It started
Are
with
you
Madden,
ready for
and
some baseball talk? Baseball
yes.
talk. Let's do some baseball talk right at the break. Man Hour. Head over to MikeandMikeManHour.com. Pitch up Sparks Dice.
What is going on, boys? It is my favorite time of the week. We get to talk some baseball. Look, man, last week we talked about, some of the top free agents, where we think that they're going, and since then we've had the non-tender deadline, some big names, man. The Cubs let go of Kyle Schwarber. Archie Bradley's out there. Eddie Rosario got let go by the Twins. And Carlos Rodon by the White Sox, which really surprised me because the White Sox, they need their starting pitching. And Carlos Rodon wasn't horrible. He definitely could have been a number 5 starter for him, but they let him go. So, Buck, let's talk some baseball, buddy. Let's talk about these non-tender free agents here. Archie Bradley, a relief pitcher, man. There's so many landing spots. So many teams need a relief pitcher. A couple teams that come to mind for me are like the Red Sox, for one. Yep. They've got a pretty good lineup, 1 through 6. They need some help in the bottom third, which we'll talk about a guy here in a minute who I think that they should absolutely go and snag. But Archie Bradley would be a great fit in Boston. He would also be a good fit with the New York Mets or the Anaheim Angels. I think that the Mets, obviously, I think the Mets are going to make big splashes this offseason. They've got a lot of money with their new owner, the only owner in baseball that didn't lose any money last year.
True.
They're going to be spending money, man. And the Angels are looking to win. They're ready to go right now. They're probably a starter and maybe a couple of back-end relievers away from being there, but I think that the Angels, the Mets, and the Red Sox are the obvious landing spots here. What about you?
Yeah, and I kind of like the team that he played on last year, Cincinnati. They are obviously going to lose Trevor Bauer in this off season, so they need some pitching. So why not go after is a guy 10 years in the league really considered a veteran like at this point?
Yeah.
I'm not for sure, but you definitely need some veteran leadership on that team because what was it? Was it 2 years ago? Like when the Reds made all those big season or those those mid-season moves for like Puig and then they picked up a couple of my Kansas City guys and
Right.
they
made some good moves.
Yeah, but they pretty much shit the bed since then.
Yeah.
So like they have a pretty young core. So like we said, what was it last week? When you have a young catcher, you need some veteran pitching. So Cincinnati needs to land this guy.
That's where I think Cincinnati is going, though. I think they're going young. They non-tendered Archie Bradley. Not very many times do you non-tender a guy and then bring him back because you're kind of telling him you don't want to even give him a qualifying offer. So it really means you don't want to spend the money on him. And so I don't think Cincinnati they just traded Raisel Iglesias, too, to the Angels, which boggle my mind. I mean, Iglesias is a fireballer, and I mean, that guy just throws heat, and he had one of his best seasons last year. So, man, Cincinnati, look, yeah, veteran pitching for sure. It could be a definite landing spot for them, but it's just not very often you see a non-tendered guy go back to their team. The Astros, I think, are another one. Yankees maybe even, because the Yankees are always looking for pitching help. I think they need more starting pitching than relief. But they might go back and get Tanaka. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, and like just to add to your point there, yes, I understand that does not normally happen in a normal season, but we also just played in a very unnormal season, right? Yeah. So why not stay at a place where maybe take a hometown discount and prove your worth and get traded and get traded by the All-Star break?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Look, the Cubs have said, and we'll talk about him in a minute, but the Cubs have said they haven't ruled out, going and giving Kyle Schwarber a 1-year deal and letting him go out and prove himself again. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what Cincinnati wants to do. I'm kind of befuddled on what Cincinnati's doing because to not, bring back Trevor Bauer, to not bring back to trade Raisel Iglesias was insane. And I don't know. I think that they're ready to go young and let the young guys play and go with their homegrown talent. But
if they're willing to go young, if they're willing to go young, sign this guy for a 1-year deal and just tell him flat out, hey, you are here for trade bait, and get a bunch of prospects. Because obviously the White Sox are wanting to move some young prospects out, so get in the White Sox ears.
Yeah, absolutely. The other guy, and we've been talking about him, man, Kyle Schwarber. Look, I've been saying for 2 to 3 years that Kyle Schwarber is a DH. And if he was a DH, he would be an all-star. He will be a Hall of Famer. This guy can flat out hit. And when he doesn't have to worry about playing defense, he can just flat out hit. I mean, he showed it in the World Series in 2016 when he came back after that knee injury that he had. He's had a couple of down years with the bat, but that guy sees a lot of pitches. He works the counts. He draws a lot of walks. Yes, he'll get his strikeouts because he does swing hard, but he watches it, man. He looks at a lot of pitches, and he's got a really good eye at the plate. I really think, to me, and I've said this before, he would destroy Fenway Park. He would absolutely, and it makes so much sense for them to go out and get him and then to trade J.D. Martinez. J.D. Martinez's contract is really, really big. There's lots of teams that would love to have a J.D. Martinez. You can get Schwarber for cheaper, and I think he'll put up better numbers than J.D. Martinez will this year, especially in Fenway Park. Toronto is another team that, would absolutely love to have a Kyle Schwarber at DH. So I think those two teams, I think Boston is number one, and Toronto is like, I mean, if I had to grade it on a scale of 0 to 100, Boston's 100 and Toronto's a 50 for me for Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, and when you have a person like that, you don't want to lose him on interleague play. So right. I mean, he can still play outfield. I mean, he was a pretty solid left.
He could play first base,
fielder, right, or play first base as well. He came up
as a catcher. He was a catcher in the minor leagues. In college.
So he is from Ohio. He went to college here in Indiana. I believe he is a Hoosier from Bloomington, like Indiana. So why not stay in the Midwest? Why not stay in the Ohio Valley? The Cleveland Indians. that might be a good steal for them.
That
They've kind of been right there for the last 4 or 5 years. That might get them over the edge.
They're looking to sell at this point. There's lots of talks about them kind of going into not really a rebuild, but a reset. But Kyle Schwarber would make a lot of sense for a reset. A very young guy. You get him on 1 year. You see what he's got as a DH, see what he can give you, and let him earn his money. But they're talking about trading Francisco Lindor, trading a bunch of of their names, and they're looking to restart and rebuild, and so they're looking to get as much as they can for these guys. Angels have made so many moves over the years and never pans out. Look at their lineup: Trout, Rendon, Pujols, Simmons, etc. My opinion is time for Angels to. So look, Adam, I'm going to tell you like this. Don't take 2020 into account, because 2020 was a different season for a lot of players. There were a lot of really, really good, talented players that had really, really bad years.
Right.
2020 was very different. It was the first year they weren't allowing guys to use video on the bench to go through, look at their previous at-bats and stuff like that. So there was no video replay that they were able to use in the dugouts and that type of stuff. And the Angels are really good. They just need more starting pitching, and I think that's what they're going after this offseason. I really think Trevor Bauer lands there. To be honest with you, another good name that I could see there in Anaheim would be a Rosario. Eddie Rosario would be a good name, and other names that have been linked to Boston, but I could see in Anaheim too, would be a reuniting with Chris Bryant in the Angels, and let Chris Bryant go and play left field next to Mike Trout. Chris Bryant's an outfielder the rest of his career. He's not a third baseman. He's hurt too much. Letting him play the outfield where he's not diving all the time, where he's not throwing on every play. So I think that the Angels are ready to win. They're poised to win. And they've got the talent there to do it. They've just got to go and get the guns. And 2020 was just an anomaly for a lot of players. I mean, a lot of good players had really bad seasons. Some had really good seasons. You look at Mookie Betts and them, but the Angels are ready to win, and I think that the Angels are going to be a force in the AL West this year. Speaking of Eddie Rosario, he's another one on this list. Got non-tendered by the Minnesota Twins. Not very many teams need center fielders. I mentioned the Angels with him. They could push him over to left or push him over to right. Do what you need to do. He's a very versatile outfielder, very good defender, and the kid can hit. If he doesn't land with the Angels, which, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't, but that is an option for them. I see the Pirates or the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs need a center fielder. They've needed a center fielder for a while, an everyday center fielder. They've needed a leadoff hitter for a long time. Eddie Rosario would give them that. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are they're looking for a center fielder. And so I would go get Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario is very, very good. I like Eddie Rosario a lot. Where do you see him landing, Buck?
You know what? This team is going to surprise you because nobody thinks of the Kansas City Royals.
Say the Royals.
Yeah, nobody thinks of the Kansas City Royals just like that anymore. I mean, like, ever since the 2014-2015 World Series runs, like, Royals who? You guys even have a baseball team anymore? And sadly, we lost a staple in the outfield of Alex Gordon this season. Yes, he played left field, but you said it yourself. Rizzo is a very versatile outfielder, and if you get a chance to bring somebody in like that to put in your outfield, you can move your center field around. You can move your right field. Like, you can put him where he wants to play, and the Royals will build around him, because the Royals just signed Carlos Santana, so they are starting to bring some pieces in, and I think this guy could definitely make them above 500 ball club and maybe compete. I mean, because like they said that the playoffs are still going to be the extended playoffs now, right? Like the whole 8 teams. So I mean, if you are a 500, 600 team, you are going to slide into the playoffs, and that's all the Royals need is just a shot. And I think he gets them over that 500 mark.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I just, look, I don't know what the Royals are doing. I haven't looked into the Royals enough. I really don't. I just think that the Royals are. I don't know if they're in full rebuild mode, but they've got some nice pieces. They've got some good young talent. They just signed. Who did they just sign? It surprised the hell out of me.
Carlos Santana.
Yeah, Carlos Santana. So I mean, if you're the Royals and you're adding, man, Eddie Rosario would definitely be a great piece. Replace a guy like that you lost last year in Gerard Dyson and all that. So yeah, I could see it. I could see Rosario in Kansas City. Last name on this list is Carlos Rodon. Again, I'm shocked with the amount of pitching that the White Sox need that they would let a guy like this go. He's been hot and cold, so I kind of get it. But they just traded for a guy who was of the same ilk his name's escaping me now. Lance Lynn. So I think Carlos Rodon's better than Lance Lynn, but you let Rodon go and you traded a guy for Lance Lynn. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But place I could see Rodon going again. We've said this name a lot, but the Boston Red Sox, they need starting pitching. They need a couple of starting pitchers, but they need number 1 and number 2 guys more than they need 4 or 5.
Right.
They need a couple of aces because Chris Sale, the guy just can't stay healthy. He can't pitch more than 3 starts before going on the IL. Toronto would make sense with Carlos Rodon. The Yankees would make sense with Carlos Rodon. The Mets, the Angels, all of those teams would make sense for Carlos Rodon because they all need starting pitching. And he's a good end of the rotation type guy.
Yeah, and when you have a player like this, I mean, like he is not going to warrant a what's the word I'm looking for? A market setting.
Contract?
Yeah, like a market setting contract. So
yeah.
So there are a lot of teams in play, like a lot of these mid-major teams that don't have a lot of money, but they could use a starting pitching. Cincinnati comes to mind, Indians come to mind, but the name that you keep throwing around is the Mets. They have money to like spare, so why not maybe overpay for a player like this, just so nobody else can like have them? And so, I mean, I feel like you can never have enough starting pitching in your rotation, and the Mets should probably go after this guy 100%.
Yeah, and you know that would be a good one. And he's definitely a great number 4, number 5 guy. And then, so let's move on here. We got some other baseball news to get out there. We talked about this a little bit. Raisel Iglesias to the Angels from the Reds. This is a steal for the Anaheim Angels. It really is. And I know Adam Barber said the Angels have made so many moves over the years, it never pans out. They need to retool. I disagree, man. Look, Raisel Iglesias is a bona fide top 5 closer right now. The guy just throws gas. He throws hard. He had the best year of his career in 2020. I believe at one point he had like 33 strikeouts in 30 innings or something like that. It was absolutely ridiculous what he did this year. So I like that move for the Angels. I think they stole that trade. They got a no-name in return for him. So I really think that the Angels stole that one.
Yeah, I mean, you could say they stole $9.125 million all you want, but I mean, I don't think this. I'm not for sure if they really if this guy really fits the culture over there in Anaheim, or is it L.A. or Anaheim of L.A. or whatever they are going now. But did they really need a closer before they needed starting pitching? I don't think so. So
they needed back end bullpen help. They definitely did. I think that Raisel Iglesias. I think if you got a chance to get him for peanuts, which is basically what they did, it was a salary dump by the Reds, which I don't know what they're doing over there because they're a really strong, young, good team. I thought that they were ready to make a run at the NL Central crown this coming year, but now I'm not so sure. I got to see what they do the rest of the offseason. But Raisel Iglesias makes the Angels a lot better. And so I like the trade for the Angels all day long, regardless of his contract for this upcoming season. I think $9.125 million for a top 5 back end of the bullpen guy is a bargain.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what does everybody say? We just win, baby, win, and we'll see if the Angels can actually win and put some stuff into motion.
Yeah, and then you got the White Sox made a trade too for Lance Lynn. We touched on this a little bit when we were going over the non-tenders. I think that this was a bad move for the White Sox. I don't understand it. I don't know who was behind this move. I'm not sure if this was the GM's call. I'm not sure if this was, their 185-year-old head coach's call. I don't know, or their manager, I should say. I don't know who made this call, but it was an absolutely awful call. You trade a top pitching prospect, a guy who was projected to be number 4 in your rotation, a guy who really solidified the 4th spot in your rotation because he could be a 3 or even a 2 in a lot of other rotations. And you traded him for Lance Lynn, a guy who's just been hot and cold his whole career, especially over the last 2 to 3 seasons, and injury prone. I mean, the guy's been injured a lot over the last 2. I don't understand this move. I don't like this move for the White Sox. I think it was just a bad all-around decision. Their second bad decision of the offseason, behind hiring Tony La Russa.
Yeah, Tony La Russa was a kind of a head scratcher hire, but I think the White Sox made a pretty good move here because you know what you're going to get from this Lance Lynn. You don't know if a prospect is ever going to pan out, right? It is almost like when you're the New York Jets. You know what you have in Sam Darnold. Do you really want to waste that number 1 overall pick? Who really knows, right? But I think the White Sox are in a. Do I want to say that? Yeah, they are in a must-win. They are ready to win now. They don't want to build that prospect up for the next 4 or 5 years. They want to win now. They have a nucleus together now. They have an 89-year-old head manager there that probably won't even make it through the season without having a heart attack. So they are ready to win now. So why not bring him in and solidify that rotation?
Because your rotation got worse.
Did it though?
Your rotation got worse without Dunning and adding a Lance Lynn. Absolutely.
But he is a prospect. You've never seen him play though. I didn't understand. You've seen him play, but
you've seen him play. You've seen him pitch. He came up, last year. But he is one of those guys that I just I don't know. I didn't understand the love fest for him when he was a free agent 2 years ago, and he just has not panned out. He has not been very good. He's been hit or miss. I think his ERA's been in the mid 4s consistently. So I don't understand the move. It's another head scratcher. Second one of the offseason for the White Sox. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like the direction that they're headed with it. But maybe it'll work out for them. I guess we'll see.
Well, as a Cubs fan, you hope nothing but the worst for them. So is the fandom coming out a little bit? You're like, oh, this is dumb because.
So I hate the Cardinals. I hate the Brewers. I don't really like the Reds. I don't like the Pirates. I don't hate the White Sox. I don't root for them. I'll never root for the White Sox. I think that they're a very good team. I picked them to win their division this year. I picked them to go to the World Series this year. I don't.
How did that turn out for you?
Not very good. They got beaten in Game 5 of the NLD or ALDS, but
it was actually a pretty good series. I give them a little bit of credit.
But they just fell off at the end. They ran out of steam. But for 3/4 of that 60-game season, they were the best team in baseball.
True.
And I think that, they've got that out of their system. They were young. They had never been there before, so maybe the moment was just too big. Now they've been there. And that might be the one good thing Tony La Russa can bring to you, is Tony La Russa has been there. He's won World Series. He knows how to win. And so that might be the one thing that he brings to this team, other than the fact that I've got the over-under set at 7 of how many times you catch him on camera falling asleep in the dugout.
Do you know who else brings experience to that team?
Who?
Lance Lynn.
Oh,
He's
get
been
outta
there,
here.
done that. Are you ready for the two-minute warning?
Let's get there.
Let's do it.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
In the final 2 minutes of the show, guys, I want to flash back over to football a little bit here. Monday Night Football did offer us 2 NFL games. The Buffalo Bills beat the San Francisco 49ers 34-24. Man, the San Francisco 49ers are pretty good, like, without their starting tight end, starting defensive end, starting linebacker, starting quarterback, starting receiver, starting running back. But the Buffalo Bills, Brandon, are you ready to officially buy into the Buffalo Bills being what they're 8-3 now? I think.
I bought into them before the season. I picked them to win the division. I picked them to run away with the division. I think that Allen is a bona fide top 10 starter in the league. I think he's really good. And I mean, he went out and he balled out yesterday. Granted, it was against a depleted, 49ers defense, but we say this all the time: beat who's in front of you.
Exactly.
And he could have very easily, which is another thing we talk about all the time, he could have had a trap game, and he didn't. He went out there and he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't take anything for granted, and he balled out. So, I'm a big buyer in the Buffalo Bills.
And probably one of the biggest offseason moves that many people are not really, looking at, like, now it's kind of hindsight. But Stephon Diggs from the Vikings to the Buffalo Bills, that could have been the biggest steal this offseason. I mean, Stephon Diggs is balling out for Buffalo Bills. But let's talk a little bit about COVID here. San Francisco 49ers can't play at home for the next five weeks, but they go to Arizona where COVID is more rampant. Do you think the 49ers are done? Do they even have a chance to win a game for the rest of the season?
If I'm the 49ers, man, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Like, we get kicked out of our own stadium and we go to a place where the COVID numbers are actually higher than where we were playing. Like, that to me is gross. And, the NFL constantly says it's all about player safety. It's all about player safety. And they prove time and time again. It's all about the money.
$1 bill, yo.
So I think they are done. I think that they've pretty much lost. They were even talking about last night on the broadcast. Instead of practicing and going through it with the week of Christmas, even though they're going to be in Arizona, they're headed home and they're going to spend Christmas with their family, and they'll come back and play the game because at this point they've just been screwed over in every possible fashion.
Yeah,
so.
and the injuries keep piling up for them week in and week out. It's absolutely crazy. But guys, that's going to be it for the Man Hour. Thanks for tuning in. Combs and Buck here. We'll be same time, same place tomorrow. Tomorrow is What The? We're going to break down Week 14 NFL schedule, and we got the Ravens Cowboys to break down as well. Combs, any closing thoughts before we head out, man?
Hey, as always, be kind to everybody. We love you all. Man Hour Nation. See you tomorrow.